Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Christine from Freedom Physio. Today, we're going to be talking about how our shoulder blades integrate with our core work. So, you might be thinking, how on earth are my shoulder blades related to my core? But they really are. And the muscles that attach, or some muscles that attach to certain portions of our shoulder blades, actually attach into our external obliques. So, you can see the shoulder blade over here is articulating with the back of the ribs. You guys know that from when we spoke about the thoracic spine and the rib cage. If you're not sure, you can always check on my subscription platform. All those classes are there. So, shoulder blade articulates at the back of your rib cage. Now, the shoulder blade has a muscle just beneath it here. So it attaches at the front part of the shoulder blade, called the serratus anterior. And you can see on these little red kind of paintings on the rib cage, that muscle, serratus anterior, attaches here on these ribs. This muscle actually interdigitates with our external obliques. So every time you work your obliques, every time you throw a ball, every time you do any kind of rotational movement that's going to involve your shoulders, serratus anterior and obliques are involved. So your core and your shoulder are absolutely 100% linked. Shoulder blades are really, really, really crucial for optimal biomechanics in general. So if you're interested and if you want to know more about your shoulder blades, we're going to be focusing on shoulder blade integration in this week's 60-minute Pilates class. And I'll talk about it again in the 45-minute Pilates class as well. You can catch everything on the subscription platform. Awesome, guys. From me and Mr. Bones, take care. Bye. Back to Pilates. So today you're not going to need any props or anything, literally just your mat. We're going to focus on how our shoulder blades integrate into our core function. Now, it sounds like the most boring topic in the whole world, but it really is quite cool, and it's something that has taken my own strength from like being okay to being like next level. So see if you can kind of embody some of these things. The cool thing about today's class is we get to lie down for like the beginning bit. So we're going to lie down, yay, and breathe, which is awesome. And then we'll go into some shoulder blade movements, and then we'll go back onto our back again. Okay, so you guys are welcome to go straight onto your back, lying down. But if you can, you're going to put your feet either onto a couch or a chair or onto the wall like that with your knees directly above your hips. So just get yourself into that position, and then I might just mute everyone. Okay, cool. All right, guys. And if you feel like you just need a nap, that's cool as well. All right. So some of you guys have done this breathing work with me before. The breathing work that we do here is, yes, it is great for mindfulness, but it's more about optimizing your core function. So optimization in the sense that we want to take a really big belly breath in. What muscles are by your belly? Your abdominals, your core. So you want to think when you take your big breath in that the left side of your tummy and the right side of your tummy are both expanding equally on the inhale and deflating equally on your exhale. So what you can do is place your hands literally on your tummy, and you can feel it. You can really feel the left side and the right side as you breathe in. And feel the left side and the right side as you exhale. We're going to take about 3 minutes here. As you lie here, guys, make sure that your neck is long, so you're not straining your chin up towards the ceiling. So the back of your neck is long. Allow the weight of your head to relax into the floor. Allow your shoulders to relax into the ground. Your collarbones, imagine they were as broad as the width of the entire room. There should be a little space underneath your lower back for that natural forward curve in the lower back. Your feet are parallel hip width distance. And your knees, if you had to have a sneaky peek at your knees, they're not kind of floating off to the left or floating off to the right. They're pointing directly up towards the ceiling. Once you've got all those things in place, we're inhaling ideally in through the nose, and the exhale in an ideal world would also be out the nose. So you'd almost get the sense of the breath coming out through the nose and also slightly out through the back of the throat. As you breathe out, if you are able to exhale out the nose, you might get the sound of the ocean. It's often described that way. Encourage your breath to go down. So we're not breathing into the upper chest. Try and discourage any upper chest breathing. Target the inhale low into your abdominal area. You might even start to feel as if the breath was going back down into the ground behind you as well, getting a sense of broadness into the floor. If you notice one side expanding or contracting more than the other, then definitely try and encourage the non-expanding side to inflate a little bit more on the inhale and deflate a little bit more on the exhale. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Good, last 2. And final breath. Well done. Now, I wish I could tell you that we're going to stay lying on our back, but we're actually going to change position completely and come onto all fours. So take your time, get yourself up. I know. All right. So whenever you're there, we're going hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. And then you want to try and find your neutral spine. So you can go for a little cat-cow, arching into the spine or arching into the lower back, and then rounding into the spine. And then you're going to find your neutral, so your happy medium between those two extremes. Super. Okay, perfect. From here, first challenge and first time we're going to integrate our shoulder blades into our movement. You're going to draw your shoulder blades together towards your spine. So it's like you're squeezing an imaginary pencil between your shoulder blades. My elbows have not bent. And then I'm going to push the floor away. Exactly, nice, resonant, good. And then you squeeze an imaginary pencil between your two shoulder blades. Your chest will drop towards the floor as the shoulder blades glide around the chest wall, and then press the floor away. Good. Keep on going. So shoulder blades squeeze together towards the spine. That's good, guys. You got it. And then press the floor away. Exactly. 4 to go. So this is called scapular retraction. We retract, and then as you push the floor away, protraction. Last 3. So the shoulder blades will literally be gliding around your rib cage as you move. Good. Last 2. Good. And last time. Very nice. Bring yourself up into kneeling and imagine you were literally doing the same with the wall in front of you. So we're going to flex into our palms. You're going to push an imaginary wall away. So my shoulder blades protract. And then I'm going to, that's just literally my shoulder blades moving. I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades together towards the spine and my arms will move. Okay? So push an imaginary wall away and then let your shoulder blades draw together towards the spine. Nice. Push an imaginary wall away and then squeeze them together towards the spine. Nice. That looks awesome. So what you want to watch for here is that as you squeeze that imaginary pencil between your shoulder blades, that you're not letting the shoulders hike up towards the ears. It's quite a horizontal movement. Guys, you got it. Well done. Last one. Strangely enough, this is one of the movements that people really struggle with. Okay, and then you're going to let the arms come down, shake out the shoulders, shake, shake, shake. Sweet. From here, big circles through the arms. So I'm going to reach my arms forward, reach my arms up, externally rotate my shoulders so my pinkies lead, and then come down. Okay, so I guess it's pretty simple, but as you move your arms, can you start to check in with the shoulder blades and see what they're doing? So you might have a moment where you feel them kind of squeeze together and then feel them draw away from one another. Feel them squeeze together as you reach back. Feel them draw away from one another. Let's go for 3. Nice. Try and minimize the rib flare. So think neutral spine, ribs stay down. Good. 2 and 1. Very nice. Now, we've just done that in an open chain, so our hands haven't been on the ground. We're going to try and do shoulder blade circles with our hands on the floor. It's a bit of a weird one, but really initiate from the shoulder blade. So, any direction, you're going to, I usually scrunch the shoulders up towards my ears, squeeze them back towards one another, and then press the ground away as we circle down and around. So, shoulder blade circles. It's a little bit of a strange one to integrate this area into our movement, but a lot of the time when we have shoulder injuries, they can stem from what a lot of people would call scapular dyskinesis, where the shoulder blades aren't really kind of doing what they're supposed to. Let's go for 2 more circles. Try not to let those elbows bend at all. Good, and last one in this direction, and then see if you can navigate the reversals. So just make sure that you don't let the elbows bend. It's going to be really tempting. So notice how the shoulder blades glide around the rib cage. Let's go for 4 more. Just going to take a look at you. Yes. 3. Try not to let your head and neck do too much for you. They're like just innocent bystanders. 2 and 1. Very nice. Come off of the wrists again. Bring yourself up into high kneeling. Shake out the shoulders. Great job. Okay, so from here, reach your arms forward. I'm going to take my left arm, and it's as if somebody's pulled my left shoulder blade forward. So left arm is going to reach forward, right arm is going to reach back. So this is the first time where our 2 shoulder blades are doing different things. My left shoulder blade is protracting, reaching forward, as if I was pushing the wall in front of me away. My right shoulder blade is squeezing in towards the spine. So right shoulder blade squeezes in towards the spine, left shoulder blade pushes an imaginary wall away. Hang out here for a second. Good, and then I'm going to swap. Right arm is going to push an imaginary wall away. Left arm reaches back. I'm going to squeeze my left shoulder blade back and reach my right shoulder blade forward. Nice. So feel that difference. Make sure that you haven't scrunched up the shoulders to the neck. Yeah? 1 more time each way. So left arm pushes an imaginary wall away. Right shoulder blade draws in towards the spine. Push a little more through that left arm. Really reach. Find that extra little bit of space. And then 1 more time. Right arm forward, left arm back. So push that imaginary wall away, squeeze the left shoulder blade towards the spine. Stunning. Now bring it back to center. Now we're going to do that exact movement with one hand pushing down into the floor, one arm reaching up towards the sky. You've done this before, but we haven't really focused on the shoulder blades so much. Okay, so on all fours, start by pushing the floor away through both arms. So you're really strong to start off with. Then it's going to be your left arm reaching up towards the sky. Right arm is going to push the floor away. So that right shoulder blade is pushing the floor away. Left shoulder blade, don't scrunch it up towards the neck, squeeze it down. Yes, towards the spine. Nice. And then let's swap. Left hand comes down, push the floor away to that left arm, and lift the right arm up. So that push on the left, almost like you're pulling on the right. Let's swap one more time on each arm. So right hand comes down, or whichever one you're on, whichever hand you're on. The bottom hand, the bottom arm is pushing the floor away. The top arm, that top shoulder blade is squeezed back towards the spine. Very nice, guys. Last time. And down with the one arm, up with the other. Your neck is free. You're pushing the floor away to that bottom arm. Very nice. And then take your hands down. Great job. Awesome. So last little bit of kind of conceptualization that we're going to go through is we're going to take our arms out in front, and I'm going to face you for this. Okay? So imagine I had a stick in my hands. So I had a long stick. Okay? From here, I want you to imagine you're breaking that stick in half. So that action of breaking the stick in half without bending your elbows, breaking it in half, is going to hopefully engage muscles on the side of your body here. Do you feel a little bit there? Hopefully. So that engagement there, almost like you're holding a newspaper underneath your armpit. Squeeze down on that imaginary newspaper as if you were in a hurricane and you didn't want to let it go. Okay? All right. Keep that idea fresh in your brain and come and sit on your bum. Okay? We're going to use that extensively now. So reach your arms forward. Imagine you had a stick in your hands, like a nice strong piece of wood, okay? And you were trying to break that piece of wood in half. As soon as you do that imaginary movement of breaking that piece of wood in half, this will switch on, okay? Hopefully. Lengthen up to the crown of your head. Imagine you were, or at least rolling off of your sit bones onto your sacrum, and you're going to hang out here in your C curve shape. Nice. Good. Inhale, squeeze your newspaper, and your newspaper is underneath each armpit, and then slowly come out of it. Okay. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, break your imaginary stick. And then tuck, roll off of your sit bones onto your sacrum, hanging out here for a second. Good. Inhale again. Exhale, bring yourself back. Very nice. One more time. Break your imaginary stick. Squeeze the imaginary newspapers underneath each armpit. Tuck. Roll off the sit bones onto the sacrum. Hold. Okay. Now where your arms are, I want you to imagine that you had a heavy boulder in your hands and you were holding onto something nice and heavy. Okay. Use that visual of a weight in your hands. You're going to start to reach both arms up and then slowly take them back down. Nice. Reach both arms up and take them back down. So you still want to try and keep that sensation of the sides of your body switched on. Okay, so the left and the right sides of your rib cage. Keep them involved in the equation. Let's go for 4. Your arms will probably start to burn. 3. Core will start to work as you reach the arms higher. 2. And last one. Take the arms forward and slowly just slouch over your thighs. Well done. That movement in particular can be a little bit intense on the lower back. So the stronger you get, the longer you'll be able to hang out there. But if you do need to come out, you just come out, okay? Otherwise, grab a hold of the back of your thighs and use that to lengthen up through the crown of your head a little bit more. Soften the shoulders away from your ears. Reach your arms forward. Break your imaginary stick so you squeeze the shoulder blades down. Heavy boulder in your hands now, and then you're going to tuck, roll off of the sit bones onto the sacrum and hang out here again. Good. From this position, your left arm is going to reach forward towards the wall in front of you. Take it up, 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 back, 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 back. Skim the ground, and bring it forward. Right arm forward. Up, you're swimming the backstroke. So you're going to keep on going, guys, from arm to arm. Just make sure, and I know this is a strange thing to think about, but think about both feet staying equally grounded on your mat. So big toes are on the mat. Bum is equally grounded on the mat. Stay stable in that lower body. Good. Let's go for 4 more if you can. Good. Last 3. And 2. And 1. Awesome. And slowly come forward, slouch over your thighs. Take a moment. Great job. Okay, so last one in C curve is going to really integrate the shoulder blades. You might need to adjust your hand positioning a little bit, but just kind of get started with me and see what suits you best. So I'm going to take the heel of my hands just in front of my bum onto the ground. Okay, I'm going to lengthen up through the crown of my head, and I'm going to come back into a little C curve. Now, as soon as I do that, my shoulder blades want to go up there, but I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to push down into the floor, squeeze my shoulder blades down, and use that forward and down force through the heels of my hands to engage my core and lift up my knees. Yes, and feet. So some of you might be like, woohoo, this is enough for me, but play around with how much you push into the ground. So if you have to take your hands away from the floor, there's nothing really in the core or in the shoulder blades. But if you start to press down into the heels of the hands, squeeze the shoulder blades down and together, you might get a whole bunch more vibration happening in the body. So press down into those hands, hold and breathe for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Push the floor away. 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Place the feet down. Lengthen up through the crown of your head, and we're going to lie down. Thank God. Okay, well done for all of that, though, guys. Inhale, lengthen. Reach those arms forward. As you exhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together and down, and we're going to roll all the way onto our back. Nice. Reach your arms back, interlace your thumbs, stretch your legs forward, and take a nice big stretch for the front line of your body. Nice. I just realized that my top is like matching my mat, so I hope you can see me. All right. So, hanging out here for a second. Just take a few more breaths. Use that interlocking of your thumbs to get a sensation of almost pulling your hands away from one another, and use that to reach up higher. Okay, now we're going to bend our knees, place our feet flat onto the floor, and take our strongly interlaced fingers behind our head. Nice. So you're interlocking all 10 fingers strongly behind your head. The interlocking of your fingers is crucial. I want you to try and think about pulling your elbows away from one another. So that's going to create a little bit of pressure on your fingers. That interlocking is what's keeping your head and your elbows nicely placed. Think about your elbows being super wide. Inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to nod your chin towards your chest and come up into flexion. So crunch. Good. At the top of your crunch, think about your elbows reaching east and west. And then slowly come back down. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, nod the chin towards the chest. Come up. Think about trying to pull your hands apart, but the strong interlocking of your fingers is going to prevent that. Elbows reach east and west. Try and come a little bit higher, and then slowly lower yourself down. Nice. Inhale. Exhale, bring it up. Think about the elbows going wide. Neck is free. Inhale at the top. And exhale, slowly take it down. You've got 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, bring the rib cage forward. Try and get off of the shoulder blades completely. Think about the elbows pulling east and west. The strong interlocking of your fingers makes sure that those hands don't separate. And then slowly lower down. Last 2. Inhale. Exhale, bring it forward. Get those ribs a little bit further through your body. Come up a little higher. And slowly down. Okay, guys, the next one we're going to hold up. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, bring it forward. Now from here, keep your torso up, but reach those arms alongside your body. Turn your palms up and imagine you're a Spider-Man. You've just shot that spider web forward towards the wall in front of you. Reach forward, squeeze imaginary newspapers underneath each armpit, and then you're going to pulse your rib cage forwards and backwards. Pulse it forwards and backwards, and you'll feel those arms go up and down. Good. For 10. 9. Keep reaching forward. 8. Keep squeezing your imaginary newspapers. And 6. And 5. Reach for the wall in front of you. 4. Good. And 3. And 2. And 1. And take it all the way down. Let your head relax on the floor and let your knees windscreen wipe from side to side. Great job. Amazing. So a lot of these things, it kind of depends on how much intention you put into it, and then you really get that sensation to kind of switch on. All right. So from here, we're going to let the upper body relax for a little bit, and we're going to think about the lower body. So we want to find a neutral spine. So we're not going to arch into the lower back, nor are we going to tuck and round into the lower back. You're going to take your legs into a tabletop position. So one leg's going to come up, other leg's going to come up, and you're going to hang out here. Nice. Now this position is glossed over in so many classes that it's just a glossed over position, but it's actually a brutal one, and it's so hard to hold effectively. So as soon as those legs come up, notice if your lower back has just started to arch. You want to try your best to maintain the neutral curves of your spine. So make sure that your lower back is not arching here. Make sure that your knees are not coming in too close to your body. Make sure that your shins are directly parallel to the floor. Relax your neck and shoulders. Your chin is tucked, the back of your neck is long. And then let's start to try and breathe 3-dimensionally. Big inhale into the belly and big exhale. Ideally, in through the nose, out through the nose if that's possible. Finding that equal expansion through the left and the right sides, just like you did at the beginning of class. Now you might like to just hang out here and practice breathing in tabletop. But if you could add on your next exhale, you're going to let one foot tap the ground, literally a feather's touch to the floor, and then bring it straight back up on an inhale. So it's an exhale to take it down, keeping a bend in the knee, and then bring it back up. Good, and back. Nice. Well done. So just anecdotally, guys, this is the movement that literally made me change my career. I always did dancing, and I went to dancing the one evening, and one of my friends was doing it. I had no idea what it was. And that was that. Let's go for 6 more. So this should give you a nice little bit of core activation. 5. But think about the lower back positioning as your first priority. 3, 2, and 1. Now hug the knees in towards your body and take a little rock from side to side. Well done, guys. So good. We're going to try and integrate our upper body and our lower body into that exact same movement now. So take your feet to the ground and strongly interlock your fingers at the base of your skull, elbows in your peripheral vision. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, bring yourself forward into your flexion, into your crunch. And we're going to hang out here. You should be literally on the bottom of the shoulder blades. Then you're going to take one leg into tabletop, other leg into tabletop. Find your lower back positioning. Stay up and see if you can continue to move one leg at a time. So one foot comes down and then bring it back up. Down and up. So I would go for an exhale on the way down and an inhale on the way up. Yes. Come up a little bit higher. Let's go for 6 and 5. Feel the mid-back press into the floor. 4, 3. Keep your breathing on point. 2 and 1. Very nice. Take the feet down. Let your head relax and let's windscreen wipe nice and slowly through the knees. So the windscreen wipe, it's as much to relax you as it is to let your abdominals and your obliques stretch. Okay, so letting the abdominals stretch just like any other muscles. Let's go for 2 more windscreen wipes. Last windscreen wipe. Nice, and then stretch your legs out long on your mat. Reach your arms back, interlocking your thumbs again. Allow the front line of your body to open and take a really big inhale. Awesome. So the next little bit might be tricky for some of us, but I don't think I've seen you guys do this yet, so I'm going to go for it and then see how we get on, okay? So this movement is called a roll-up, and essentially it comes down to core and spinal articulation. But we're going to squeeze our inner thighs together. So we want it to be a whole body movement. So the inner thighs are going to squeeze together. Bring your legs to touch. Squeeze your bum. You're going to inhale, reach your arms back. As you exhale, you're going to bring the arms forward. As soon as they get here, you break that imaginary stick. Okay, so you're squeezing down on imaginary newspapers as you bring yourself forward. Stretch for the toes. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head. Squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze your bum as you slowly roll back. You're still squeezing those imaginary newspapers underneath the armpits. Okay, so my inner thighs are squeezing together, my bum is squeezed on. Inhale, reach back. As you exhale, the arms come forward. Squeeze the imaginary newspapers underneath the armpits as you rise up and reach forward. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head, and then exhale, tuck, roll. Still squeezing those imaginary newspapers underneath each armpit. Let's just take one look there. Looks really good. Inhale, reach the arms back. Exhale, squeeze inner thighs, squeeze the bum, come forward, reach, good, and lengthen. Now, if you're struggling to get from lying down to forward, then you get a nice pillow behind your back, and that's going to prop you up so that you can get yourself forward. Yeah, so use something literally right behind your back. The firmer the pillow, the bigger the pillow, the more support you're going to have. Yeah, good. And you're going to use that to propel you forward. All right, let's keep going though, guys. Let's try for maybe, let's say 6 to 8, depending on your pace. Okay. Inhaling to reach the arms back. Exhale to roll it forward. Squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze your bum, and reach for the toes. Good. Inhale, nice. There we got it. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze your bum. Tuck, roll off the sit bones onto the sacrum, slowly coming down. Nice, guys. So if this is feeling pretty easy for you, see if you can find that shoulder blade integration as you come up and as you go down. So that breaking of the stick, squeezing of your newspapers, slowly roll it down. Inhale, take it back. Last two. Yes, and reach. So apparently Joseph Pilates said that one of these things was the equivalent to 3 crunches. No momentum used, obviously. Last time. Reach it forward. Bring it up. And then slowly take yourself all the way back down. Very nice. Great job, guys. That looked awesome. So from here, you're going to come onto your forearms. All right, so I know my top is literally the same color as my mat today. Bad choice. But you're going to keep the elbows directly underneath the shoulders and push the ground away. So you're squeezing an imaginary pencil between your 2 shoulder blades here. Aim of the game is collarbones broad and wide, scapula together. Then bend your knees, pop your feet flat onto the floor, little rounding into the lower back, teeny tiny roundlet, and then you're going to take your legs into tabletop. So one leg, other leg, and even that position there, you might be like, whoa, tummy, muscles, and hips. But press the ground away a little bit more, open the sternum towards the sky. Inhale. And as you exhale, stretch your left leg forward towards the wall in front of you. Don't bring your right knee in. Keep right knee where it's at. And then bring that left leg back. Good. And then push. Opposite leg forward. And then bring it back. Just make sure for me that you're not letting that chest and the rib cage kind of flare towards the ceiling. Push the ground away through the elbows and close the rib cage down. Nice. You've got 4 more of these. Good. And 3. Imagine the muscles between your shoulder blades, that mid-back area switching on. 2. And last one. Bring the legs back to tabletop. Upper body's not going to change, but you're going to roll your pelvis over to the left. And then stretch your legs out along that plane. Yeah, your arms are going to burn. Okay? Bring it back. Roll your pelvis over to the right. Reach the legs long. Now, you guys know, keep on going from side to side, that if you had to extend your legs up high, it's going to be easier than if you extend your legs down low. So the lower the trajectory of the legs, the more core strength that you're going to need. Okay, so if you had to extend your legs low, it's harder than if you extend your legs up high. Yeah? Don't sink into the shoulders, guys. Let's try for 4. This is called the can, by the way. And 3. Good. The last 2. You'll start to hopefully feel the tummy and the shoulders. On this last one, see if you can extend your legs out and hold. Press the ground away a little bit more. Interlace. So we're kind of, one foot's going in front and then the other one goes in front. Let's try for 8, 7. So it's a crisscross. 6, 5. Good. 4, 3. Push the ground away. 2, 1. Other side. Then you get a breather. Roll, 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 and extend. Reach. 10, 9, 8, 7. Good. Push, push, push through the shoulders and the elbows. 5. Good. 4, 3. Shoulder blades towards the spine. 1. And then bring it back. Feet come down. Take a little lie down. Great job. And I quite like to, after those kinds of things, just straighten out my body. So lengthen out the legs, lengthen the arms back behind you, and breathe into your tummy. So a lot of the moves that we're doing today are kind of original classical Pilates moves. So a little bit rigid, but if you can get the technique on this stuff, then everything else that you do in the future is just going to be a breeze. All right, guys. Changing it up. We're going to roll up into seated, and we're going to come onto our tummy. So this stuff is all going to be, again, targeted towards your shoulder blades and your mid back, but also your bum, okay? So initially, you're going to put your head onto your hands. So my forehead is resting on my hands. Your elbows are on the ground. Now, I don't want your elbows and your shoulder blades to be like dead and uninvolved. So press your elbows down into the floor. Okay, so a little bit of a press down of the elbows into the floor, and then you're going to lengthen your tailbone towards the wall behind you. So you're lengthening through the lower back, pressing the pubic bone down into the floor. Point through the toes, and you're going to try and lift the left leg up off of the ground, left knee as well, so the knee and the foot lift, and then lower down, and then lift your right leg up, and then lower down. So I guess you're kind of kicking as if you were in a swimming pool. One leg, then the other. And what you will notice here as you kick from leg to leg is that your pelvis, one pelvic half, that front of the hip presses into the floor, and then the other side of your hip presses into the floor as you lift the leg. Now, ideally, guys, we'd be keeping the pelvis relatively still as the leg lifts. So try, as that leg lifts, to keep your booty from rolling from side to side. Okay, 5 more. Elbows press into the floor. 4. Lower back does not arch. 3. 2. Back of your neck is long. And last one. Awesome. Okay, now let your forehead come down onto the floor, and you're going to stretch your arms forward with your thumbs pointing up. Okay, so thumbs are pointing up. Same exact movement, guys, with the legs, but we're going to add in the opposite arm. So I'm going to lift my right leg up and my left arm, and then I'm going to lower down. And then left leg, right arm, and then lower down. Keep on going, so just get your coordination, and then think about stability through your torso. Okay, so your torso stays super still, and then also try and lift your thumb up as high as possible. So really reach that thumb up towards the ceiling. Challenge how high you can lift your arm. Good. Let's go for about 6 more. Well done. And 5. Good. Keep your lower back long like a highway. It's not a ditch in the road. 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Great job. Okay, so from here, guys, we're going to bring our hands back underneath our forehead, elbows pressed down into the floor just like they did a couple seconds ago. You're going to let your knees go super wide and bring the heels of your feet together. Okay, so my knees are wide and my heels are joined. Yes, exactly. Okay, so from here, elbows press into the floor. Press your pubic bone down into the floor as well. So by doing that, you might find that your lower back lengthens. You want to keep that sensation. Then squeeze your heels together until you feel your bum muscles switch on. And then see if you can lift both knees up off of the ground using your glutes. And then lower both knees back down. Don't expect to lift very high. Okay, so pubic bone presses into the floor. Squeeze your heels together. Lift your kneecaps up off of the ground. And then slowly take it down. Nice. Pubic bone. Lift the knees, keep the heels squeezing together, and then slowly lower. That looks great. So I keep on going. This is going to be a little bit of a tug of war between how high you want to lift your legs and keeping the lower back from arching. So make the lower back your priority again. Keep it long. Find your glutes. 4 to go. And down. Keep the elbows pressing into the ground. 3, just adds that extra level of activation. And 2, and down. Last one, and down. Very nice. Perfect. Let the knees come down and just take a look at me for this next one because it might be a little bit confusing. Okay? So it's going to start the same way as this exercise we've just done. I'm going to try and lift my knees up off of the ground. I'm then going to let my feet separate. They're going to go wide like a V letter. Okay? Then I'm going to see if I can take my hands away from the floor, turn my palms up so my collarbones are open, take a second here, and then take it back down. Okay? Just make sure that it doesn't go into the lower back. Let's do that. I'll show you one more time. So I'm going to lift the knees up, squeeze the heels together. I'm going to then separate my legs, knees stay off of the ground. I'm going to try and lift up my chest, and then I'm going to take it back down. Want to give it a go? Yeah, awesome. Okay, cool. So let's start with the heels together, toes apart, knees wide. Pubic bone presses into the floor. Lift the knees up. Okay, keep the lower back long as you straighten out the legs. It's tough. Straighten them out. Then from here, see if you can take the hands back, reach them alongside your body, lift your chest, and then slowly come back down. Good. Just go for one. I want to take a look at you and lift the knees, straighten the legs, let the feet separate, reach them long. Good. And lift the chest, reach the arms back. Nice. Wow. And then slowly come back down. Okay, we're going to go for two more, just so you know that second one we're going to hold. All right, and heels together, toes apart, pubic bone down, lift the knees, reach the legs long, reach the arms back, lift the chest, find your bum a little bit more here, use your bum, and then slowly down. Last time we're going to hold at the top, okay? So heels together, lift those knees, straighten out the legs, keep the lower back long as you lift the chest, hold. Nice. Now circle your arms back behind you. Circle them. Go for 10, 9. Keep your chin slightly tucked, back of the neck long. 8, 7. Find your bum. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, if you can, reverse direction of the arms for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, find your bum, 3, 2, 1, and take it down. Great job. Whew. Amazing. Take a few seconds here, guys. All right. So one of my favorite things to do in this position is stretch my quads. So you're going to keep your right hand underneath your forehead. See if you can reach your left hand back to catch your left foot. So it's same hand, same foot. Exactly. Now, for a lot of us, as soon as you get that foot, the lower back's going to arch. So what's going to give you the real sense of stretch is tucking and rounding into the lower back. Press your pubic bone into the floor. As you press your pubic bone into the floor, think about lifting your belly button away from the ground. Pull your heel towards your bum. Now, the further your knees are away from one another, the further your legs are away from one another, you're going to stretch different muscles. So you want to try and get the knees relatively close to one another. So legs relatively parallel. Make sure you don't lose your tuck. Good. Keep breathing. Make sure you're pushing your pubic bone into the floor. And then you can slowly release and let that leg extend away from you and swap over to the other side. So left forehead, your forehead is on your left hand. Reach back, see if you can grab your right foot with your right hand, keeping your thighs relatively parallel. Press your pubic bone into the floor. You're exposing the front of your hip into the mat. And then pull your foot back towards your bum. Nice. Good, guys. Keep on breathing here. Keep encouraging the pubic bone to press down. Press the front of the right hip into the mat. Okay, last breath here. And then slowly release. And we're going to press ourselves up onto all fours yet again. Okay, so last time that we're here with the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. You've just worked your back muscles quite a lot, so we're going to stretch them out. I'm going to round into the lower back, round into the mid back, round into the upper back, and let your head relax down. Okay, so a lot of the time when we're here, guys, we think we're rounding our lower back, but we're not. We're just rounding our upper back. So think about that lower back rounding a little bit more. Just make sure you're muted there if possible. Good, and then you're going to untuck. So start at your tailbone. Untuck. Don't just let the lower back collapse. You're controlling it. Roll the shoulder blades back and down. Lift your sternum. Squeeze your imaginary newspapers underneath your armpits and look forward. Nice. And again, starting with your tail. So tuck round into the lower back, round into the mid back, round into the upper back. Let your head relax. Keep the shoulders above the wrists here. Don't let them pull back. Good, and then starting again at your tail, little arch into the lower back, arch into the mid back, arching into the upper back. Lift your gaze, squeeze your imaginary newspapers, lift your chest. All right, then we're going to take it into cat one more time. So it's the angry cat position, rounding, rounding, rounding into the spine. Let the head relax. And then imagine you had a big tail and you're going to sway your tail, sway your hips from side to side. So you're keeping a rounded spine. You're moving your hips from side to side. So you'll probably get a stretch over the left and the right sides of the lower back. Good. Nice. That's it. Let's go for 5. So rounding and then sway your hips left and right. Yes. 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Bring yourself up briefly. And you're going to step your left foot out in front. Nice. Okay, so with that, reach your arms up towards the sky. Now, a lot of the time in this half kneeling position, you can feel pretty wobbly. That's kind of normal, especially if you've got anything going on in your hip. So just do your best to stay as balanced as possible. Right arm is going to reach up towards the sky. Left arm is going to travel down towards the ground. Don't actually touch the floor though. Find the side bend through your spine. Inhale here. Now take it super slow as you lift the left arm up. Try not to wobble all over the place in your hips. Stay nice and strong in the lower body. Left arm reaches up, right arm reaches down. Nice. Try and stay stable through that right hip. Good. And then keep on swapping. So we're never just kind of using momentum to come out of the position. Right arm reaches up, left arm reaches down. Keep on swapping from side to side. So visualize your right hip being dead center in the ball and socket joint. Go for 4 more swaps. Reaching up, reaching down. Remember your shoulder blades. One is going up, one is going back towards the spine. And 3. Good. Hips stay centered. 2. Nice. And 1. Perfect. Take both hands to the ground, frame your left foot, and you're going to try and pull your bum back, straighten out that front leg as much as you can today. Nice. Good. Take a moment. And then we're going to bring ourselves forward again and swap, bringing the other leg out in front. So right leg comes forward. Yep. Bring yourself up. Nice. I'm keeping my left hip directly above the left knee the whole time. That ball and socket joint is perfectly centrated. Reach the arms up. Good. Try not to move in the lower body as left arm comes down, right arm reaches up. And then super slow, left arm comes up, right arm goes down. Nice. Every time you find that final position with one arm up, other arm down, take an inhale into the exposed side of your lungs. You're always moving as if something was just out of your reach. So reaching up, striving for the ceiling, striving for the floor. Good. Last 3. And 2. All 5 toes of the front foot stay on the mat. And 1. Very nice. Take both hands down, framing your front foot. And then try and pull your bum back, straightening out the front leg as much as you feel you can today. See if you can pull the toes of your front foot back towards your shin. Holding for 3. Holding for 2. And last 1. Very nice. Slide your right foot back briefly onto all fours. This is your last little bit of movement, guys. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. You're going to reach your left arm up towards the sky. All we're going to do is thread that left arm all the way down underneath the right until your left cheek finds the floor. Okay, so thread the left arm down and through. Left ear or left temple finds the mat. Breathe into your left shoulder blade. Find a slight tuck of the chin towards your chest. It's very common once you do that, tucking the chin down, to feel almost like a stretch along the length of your spine. Last breath here. And then take your left hand back to the mat. Do a little wiggle, and then we're going to go straight over to the other side. Okay, so right arm reaches up. Good, and then slowly thread that right arm down underneath the left. Good. Take the biggest breath in you've taken all day. Again, try and find that little tuck of the chin towards the chest. Last 2 breaths here. And then bring yourself all the way back. And guys, that is you done. Great job. Really well done, everybody. I just okay, cool. Thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you guys had a great class. You might feel your shoulder blades tomorrow or your shoulder blade area, maybe around here. That's a good thing. Are we okay?